What's up? What's up? What's up, Flobo? Episode 216. 216 episodes of the show. It's crazy about time. And it's interesting because I know the pandemic was 2 years ago, but I just had something happen to me in Rocket League World where I got a bit of a notoriety in the game for being a caster for College Rocket League. And I said, oh my gosh, it was 2 years ago this week I started casting. But that feels like at the same time last week and 20 years ago. Crazy. What up, y'all? This is episode 216 of What's Up, Flobo. This is where we get to sit and chat. Basically, if you guys, it's the first time here, this is a show I did. This is the original blog vlog series. The idea was I had my digital hosting thing at AfterBuzz TV, and this was supposed to be like my hangout. I'm gonna tell you what things going on in the world in my mind. But then AfterBuzz decided to go out of business. I mean, they're still in business, but they're out of business. You know what I'm saying? They're out of the video content business. So this became like a whatever happens. And now it's a weekly address to my mom, which reminds me, I have to call her. I am the worst son ever. I'll write that down. I'll do it afterwards. Anyway, so this is first time. Welcome. You've been here a couple times. Welcome back. I don't know how or why this gets a dozen views every week. Like, I don't promote it. I hardly do. I did last week. I promoted it last week, but I almost never promote the show. So if you do it and you like it, thank you. If it's your favorite, damn, it's like that. Yes, if you tell by the crawl below, there's many ways you can support the show. BuyMeACoffee.com/HoboBoys. That's able to support the homie to make this a possibility. And also, we have the web store, flopito.threadless.com. We have designs celebrating New Amsterdam, Flopito himself, the comedian, not to mention a brand new drop this week, the Draped in Gold first t-shirt for the Draped in Gold podcast, drapedingold.com. I can't believe it. It's amazing how that show has grown for that community. Please support the show. All right, got that out the way. Let's talk about the biggest story of this week. And no, it isn't the fact that my birthday is going to be in 2 months from today, or 2 days ago. 2 months from the day I record this, but the time it goes air, it's going to be a little bit later than that. It is the Twitter thing, man. Twitter has a new owner. In theory, the board has agreed to sell itself to billionaire Elon Musk. Pick your billionaires for what's going on, whether or not you're a Bloomberg guy or a Jeff Bezos guy. We have more rich people owning more stuff. And I've seen takes from all over, left and right, up and down, pro and against. Whatever you feel, it's going to be a change. So it's going to be a 6-month process, what I've heard, where it's going to be. Now, to be fair, Twitter is a publicly traded company that has a CEO and a board of trustees, and it's now going to be essentially a private company, it looks like, once the ink dries, and everyone has a take on it. On one hand, if you want to know how I feel, the short answer is I see both sides, but it's a cop-out, but I'm going somewhere with this. I see the benefits of having a new owner. Twitter is something that is publicly traded, but there were some functionality issues that weren't the best. The verification system is clear, but somehow still nebulous at the same time. It's become a place where everyone was making all these burner accounts. At the same time, people thought that there was a hold on free speech. But it's interesting when people say free speech. When people say free speech, it's never the thing of, I want to be able to tell the world that Batman is a bad movie. It isn't free speech. It's I want to tell people that we want to bring back jorts. Elon Musk wants to bring back free speech, and that gets me a little triggered a little bit, because when people say it that way, I'm thinking about political nature. And not necessarily about, I believe we should be more farm subsidies, or I believe kids should have access to all kinds of information, which they should. And if anyone wants to vote on whether or not a textbook or a kind of theory of a critical race variety should be allowed in schools, the answer is, why would you deny information? But that's not actually for another time. Get political now. But I worry with this free speech that Elon Musk is promoting that it may basically be a relaxation of the Twitter community guidelines, which means if you say something that may be seen as offensive, then you'd be less likely to be deplatformed. It's a little worrying about having more exposure to this. Ultimately, people should be able to say what they want. I think there's a line that crosses when someone tries to present an opinion as fact. When someone goes, oh yeah, my friend of mine tried this pill and this pill works better than that over there, so therefore it's true. Like that to me is not free speech, because you're basically spreading misinformation, which lives are depending on it. And if you don't think lives depend on the social media, it's a whole other issue entirely. When we have earthquakes here in Southern California, I check the Twitter sphere to see if it was just in my brain or if it's actual. Sometimes when some phone plans, people don't know this. In second and third world countries or emerging markets, there are light versions of these social media apps so people can have access to them to reach out to friends and family. It's just more than just a casual thing. Social media is matured enough. That's part of our daily lives. So when someone goes, we're allowing free speech, at first I go, great. This is what I do all the time. But as someone who knows the court of public opinion, or how easy someone's been canceled over it, allowing free speech is starting to wonder, is it going to be damaging for marginalized people? And even though there's some aspects of me that could be marginalized, for example, I am a black man, I am left-handed, I am an American, just one nationality, I understand I have my own privilege in that I am heterosexual, I am cisgendered, I am able-bodied, like I am a man. So I understand that there's some things where I may have that privilege as well. Will this be a situation where it's open season on people? Hard to say. History says no. History typically says that there is a bit of self-governance when it comes to what's considered tasteful. We'll see that with like entertainment. Someone can, in theory, do a very violent film or a very gruesome scene, and we always pull it back on the issue of good taste. But it is kind of troubling that you can basically be hiding behind a couple of characters in your username and you can say what you want. So basically, I'm just going around in circles to say, I see what's going on, I see both sides. I do think ultimately this is for good, but it's going to be touch and go for a while. I don't want to clutch my pearls and say, think of the children, because Twitter has its own thing, its own people on that platform already. But I hope to be proven wrong about it being a slippery slope. I hope to be proven right about basically having a collective idea of what's considered in good taste and whether or not we should correct that as well. So I'm looking forward to it myself. As far as my Twitter game, I have to get better at actually saying original stuff. Entertainment friend and I had lunch this week. They told me that, yeah, it's great retweeting stuff, but you got to make sure that you're a decent follow. So that's something that I have to work on. But that does it for me. Let me know what you think about the Twitter situation, the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk personally, not through Tesla, not through SpaceX, not through the Boring Company, but personally. As I make a note to call my mom after I record this, so she'll know exactly when this episode's going to be recorded. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you guys later.